This is our third project for disaster incident management. We'll be going over a few things with you. Going over the first question will be Brooke. She'll be describing the planning section chief's responsibilities in supervising and managing the planning section. I will be identifying the opportunities for interactions and information exchange. Scott will be identifying non-incident command system personnel or groups the planning section chief may need to interact with on an incident. And Michael will be going over management situations. Starting it off will be Brooke.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about planning section chief and their responsibilities. So the planning section chief, or the PSC, is responsible for managing the planning section, so that means providing clear direction, delegating jobs, and following up responsibilities. The outcomes and responsibilities involved with that during that whole process. In order to be a planning section chief, you have to have good interpersonal and organization skills. You have to be detail-oriented and active listener and information seeker. So some of the roles that this position includes are being a communicator, a problem solver, a coach, and a mediator, and a motivator to hold a team. The planning section chief is expected to arrive on time with a well-stocked personal planning set. That they need to provide the responsibility for carrying the performance of the bodies on the team, but they need the ones to bring that kit. It should be easily transportable and within agency implementation. So the PSC is the person responsible for bringing this kit and reading the central ICS forms like ICS 202 through 209, 219 and all of those. Other ICS forms might be included in that as well. These forms are all required to review the preparing an action plan and to accomplish the required reporting. Some other documents that the PSC should have are sample documents, templates, and plans, whether it be hard copy or electronic, sample delegation of authority or letter of direction letters, evacuation plans, transition plans, and demobilization plans. So all of those documents need to be brought to these meetings so they have what they need to get everything done. The planning section chief is also responsible for bringing basic essential mapping supplies, appropriate office supplies, and card holders, other kit items that could be transported into supplies and equipment such as laptop computers, and with software on the computer that particular emergency event. We might also need to bring paper, painter's tape, and projection equipment like surge projectors, power inverters, power strips, and so forth. So again, these things will vary from items necessary to get that job done as efficiently as possible. The planning section chief is also responsible for information gathering and sharing. So this means directing the items to the planning cycle and holding people accountable for attending meetings, showing up on time, and showing up prepared. So the religious in charge to ensure that the whole community is doing what they're supposed to be doing. The PSC also plays a facilitator role as initial private meetings. So during the meeting, the PSC will facilitate, and if the document communicator is not present, then that responsibility also falls on the PSC. It's also the job to acquire copies for the agency administrator or AA briefing, and the delegation authority, letter of authorization to ensure adequate copies are available for the whole staff to use during the briefing, so they're the ones bringing all those documents for everyone. It's also a good idea to have a copy of ICS forms like Form 201 or similar documents that planning section staff might need. So the PCS will request that document as needed. It is also important to coordinate with the entity manager and with the administrator up until the everyone needs to have the web administration. Early arrival to the meeting location is really important. So depending on the experience and the knowledge or ICS knowledge of AA and the PSC, a reading document. So the PSC needs to retain a document that authorizes the incident management team to manage the incident, an action memo often documents verbal approvals, either at the time of the agency administrative briefing or at a separate time. Sometimes the PSC has to ensure that the incident management team has an opportunity to get involved, briefed by and thoroughly transition to the current incident commander and members of their organization prior to attending. Additionally, copies of the delegation authority have requirements and final incident package. No delegation of authority has appeared in the section chief should assign incident commanders to document whatever verbal authorities have been decided and try to get written back by the agency. A return or relinquishment of delegated authority is usually done in the means that it's turned back over to the local jurisdiction, so that can be combined with a transfer of command or transition meeting. It's also the planning section chief's responsibility to obtain enough copies for command and general staff, as well as obtaining corrected copies of background information. So when they're having meetings, the section chief is responsible to bring them up the doc and ensure that everything is prepared and have to start on whatever task they're doing that day. Another responsibility of the planning section chief is to ensure that everyone in the section has completed their timesheet. If there's enough time, then it's usually a good idea for them to walk through the timesheet process ahead of time, so that they're more prepared. And lastly, it's also good for the planning section chief to try to encourage the team as much as they can. It's always a good idea to the finance section and the planning section staff having some verbal confirmation and verbal public idea. So, just a little overview, the planning section chief is responsible for managing the planning section by providing direction and encouragement, delegating tasks, preparing team members, and bringing all the necessary tickets and documents that I talked about, and the planning team members. So that's basically it. I think it's part of this in the next session.
Oh, Parker.
Unmute there. Oh, sorry guys. All right, I will be identifying opportunities for interactions and information exchange. So a lot of the information and exchange of information happens under the unified command. A few of the scenarios that include the unified command include incidents that affect more than one political jurisdiction, as well as incidents that involve multiple agencies within a jurisdiction, and also incidents that impact multiple geographic and functional areas. There's a very large number of possible interactions that can occur to create interactions and information exchange. A few of the main ways that this information is spread include formal meetings and briefings in the planning cycle, one-on-one meetings, casual conversations that can also be very productive source of information. Valuable information may be obtained in causal conversations command, general staff meetings, team meetings, transitional meetings, operational briefings, and section meetings. And there's a lot of these ways that information can be spread. A few more methods of the information exchange include the coordinating the flow of information, troubleshoot problems with other members of the incident management team, and general staff meetings are also a pulse check, making sure all the information is there. With all that being said, there are three major ways that three major types of information. The first major form of interaction that I will be reviewing is known as section personnel interaction. At this level or form of interaction, the majority of the issues will be personnel issues and relationship issues. During this stage of interaction, there are multiple responsibilities that must be accounted for. The responsibilities include managing the planning section, which requires strong supervisory and interpersonal skills, while also going along with the roles of coach, task maker, cheerleader, and diplomat all into one. The second major form of interaction is known as IMT, personnel interaction, or incident management team personnel interaction. During this stage of interaction, it is very important to keep the incident commander up to speed with what is going on. Accomplishments and problems should be discussed with the incident commander. These conversations can take place at the meetings and the operational period planning cycle, as well as during the command and general staff meeting, or one-on-one as the needs arise. The incident commander usually signs the ICS form 209, or may also be directly involved with the completion or drafting of the document. It will use this document to convey the incident status to the agency administrators or the others. And the third major type of interaction is called non-IMT personnel interaction. These are people or groups involved with incidents that are not part of the incident management team. These include the POC, stakeholders, cooperating agencies, and local governments. With that being said, a few more non-IMT personnel that we may have interactions with include volunteers organized for assisting in disasters, Medical Reserve Corps, and National Healthcare Coalition. Now, the opportunities for interaction as well as information exchange will occur with regards to interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are required for the planning section chief. The section planning chief has a very lengthy list of interpersonal roles, which are skills that are required that provide interaction and information exchange, such as roles that include being a communicator, problem solver, coach, bridge builder, mediator, motivator, and advisor, as well as information seeker. Next will be Scott.
All right, thank you, Parker. The planning section needs to interact with non-personnel within that incident command system. And that's critical. There's a reason for that, because critical information needs to be exchanged. That's the basic reason why these interactions need to take place. The types of personnel that are not in the incident command system that are interacted with are key stakeholders by their definition itself. These are the people that are directly affected by that particular incident, in our cases disasters. EOCs, also cooperating agencies and local governments. Back to our example, in class, the Emerald City flood, some more specific examples of these types of stakeholders and local agencies are like the law enforcement, the sheriffs and police that were going to provide security, Department of Transportation, and the local fire departments, and the EMS. So those are some more specific types of people. But also in our Emerald City, some other stakeholders that get involved in the planning process were like the all hazmat teams, emergency management operations I discussed, and even potentially the mayor, or even school buses when those are needed to evacuate people. So those are some of the people that are interacted with outside of the incident command system, and it's critical that they be consulted for information that can be exchanged in drafting plans. Going to hand it over now to Michael.
Hello, thank you everyone. So I'm going to go over a few scenarios that might be encountered during the roles of being planning section chief or in those types of meetings, and just in that general realm of responsibility. And we've been given 12 different situations, but I've broken them down into a couple of different sections, and they are administrative, people, scheduling, and informational conflicts. Now, Scott's going to go over the scheduling part of it, but I will do the rest. So we'll start off here with administrative. And these generally have to do with paper trails and compliance and paperwork, that sort of thing. So the first scenario is one of your planning section staff drops the only copy of the incident action plan on the way to the copier, and the pages are reassembled out of order. Staff member has no way of determining whether they are in the correct order. So the root causes of this, well, this is due to nervousness, lack of attention to detail, or you're rushed. It's a chaotic situation, you drop the paperwork. Now, kind of find it hard to believe that they wouldn't be numbered or something like that you put back into order, but worse things have happened, so you have to deal with it. So the potential personnel that you would involve, well, you bring together or communicate with the people that wrote the incident action plan. There's no better way to correct it other than going to the source of the people that created the document. From a management perspective, you want to find the easiest solution. And during these times, you might not have the time or resources to actually organize this huge plan. So just print it again. Waste some paper, waste some ink, but just print the document again. And it'll be in the correct order, and that'll save some time. The second scenario, communications plan numbers are transposed, numbers rather, not members, are transposed between the plan as written and completed, ICS Form 204. And this is a little bit vague, but basically what we thought this means is that the numbers as they're written on this form are kind of out of order or not in the correct format as they should be on the other form. The cause is there's no consensus on common language or standardization between how to translate from one form to the other, no teamwork there, potential personnel, well, who wrote these documents? Partner them to verify what should be on each of them. And create a team. Management solutions, well, this isn't a huge deal, so don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Again, pick your battles. Is this the hill you're dying on? That kind of logic. You don't want to make a huge deal out of small mistakes. But identify the mistake and ask for accuracy. Really demand it in the future. The people section. Well, you've noticed that your situation unit leader is looking tired and starting to fall behind. You suggest that he may need a backfill or support. He denies being tired or falling behind and blames someone in operations. The root causes is due to burnout, lack of sleep, or just overworked, or your ego. You think you know everything, that machismo. Or you have a high status position and expertise and you're not really willing to let somebody else take charge. Or poor scheduling, you're the only one to do the job at a time. So the potential personnel that need to get involved, well, perhaps incident commander or higher authority. It's also good to involve maybe a trusted or friendly cohort. Say, hey, go tell so-and-so they really ought to take a break. Sometimes that coming from a friend or a cohort means more than coming from your boss. So leverage relationships, and Brooke talked about that a little bit on the responsibilities are of planning section chief. And ultimately have a qualified replacement. Manage solutions, be the boss. Issue a directive to take time off or defer to someone else. You have that authority. This is why hierarchies, authorities, and supervision exist, and establish a routine and schedules so that after 8 hours, somebody else takes over. Scott, I'm going to send it over to you for the board during the scheduling section.
All right, thank you, Michael. As Michael described, these are management issues that are examples of things that might be dealt with in the planning section, and these are regarding scheduling. Products and displays are late to the planning meeting. That's like somebody running something into the meeting, that's late and somebody needed it. Well, what could be the root cause of that? Well, that particular person might be overworked, or they could be running behind, or it took a lot longer to make that particular display. Some potential people that might need to be engaged to address that situation, having things running late into a meeting, maybe the person supervisor. Possible solutions, well, if it takes them long to do these types of displays because they're perfectionists, or if they might have too much going on, maybe those duties need to be spread out, or if they're a perfectionist, maybe they need some coaching that it's okay to maybe not have something perfect. Your planning meeting displays are late because the situation unit staff is busy preparing large signs for a medical unit. Well, this sounds like the root cause of this is competing priorities. That the medical unit is busy preparing, or somebody's preparing signs for the medical unit, and they're working on those instead of for the situation unit. And the priorities, somebody needs to talk to the two supervisors to kind of figure out what's more important, which one or the other, to decide if in fact one is more important. So some higher level of authority, or at least beginning with those supervisors. And here's the one I like, Michael, I'm glad you picked this one for me. You find out that a large number of resources are scheduled to be demobilized in 2 hours. That's, they're being sent home. And 400 meals have been ordered for delivery in 3 hours. Well, that means they're not going to be eaten before they leave. And if it's like lunchtime or dinner, those people could be upset that they're not being able to eat before they leave. The root cause of that, it sounds like there's a timing issue or a scheduling. Somebody didn't schedule to get those meals on time before those people demobilize. Who might need to be talked to about that? Whoever scheduled that or whoever was responsible for scheduling that. Possible solutions. Well, in this particular scenario, it could be too late, but if it's scheduled, maybe somebody can hurry it up, or they could be demobilized such that the timing could be such that they get something to eat before they leave. And the last scenario was an incident action plan is finished, but you discover that resources in the plan have not checked in. Well, that sounds like there could be a communications problem. Maybe they don't know they need to check in. Who needs to be consulted or brought to their attention about this situation? Maybe the supervisor or those resources themselves to say, hey, look, you guys need to check in or need to check in soon. And that could be one of the solutions, either contacting those people directly, for them to check in. But those are some of the management issues that get dealt with in a planning section in an incident. So I'm going to turn it back over to our team leader to kind of sum things up, what we covered today in this video. Team leader Parker.
I've got a few more.
Michael's got some more. Okay.
To go through. Yeah, just a few more. These are what you would categorize as informational conflicts. But real quick, I just wanted to say that I enjoyed your point about the prioritization, because you have people doing good work that know what they're doing, but they're just misdirected, right? So they are good at what they do, they have a lot of knowledge and expertise on it, but if they're not outfitted with the correct priority, then it could all be for naught. So that's a good point you brought up about signs being inaccurate or delayed, or whatever exactly the problem was there. All right, informational conflict. So in this scenario, you notice that information that is on the ICS form 215 is missing from the ICS form 204. So you've got information on one that's not on the other. Root causes, well, you might be rushed, have poor attention to detail. The people that did one form might not be the same people that did the other form. So you've got kind of a mismatch of personnel covering two different forms when it really should be, or at least have some overlap, or should be the same people. Lack of understanding of the importance of having a paper trail and how important these forms are for getting paid and reporting to FEMA and making sure that everything's buttoned up on the incident scene. Potential personnel, well, each of these forms asks for who's filling it out, asks for the name. So you need to track down who filled out the forms based on that and partner them to cross-reference what's missing on one form and which belong on another. Track those people down, exact ones that filled out the forms. Management solutions. You have to coach, not just direct, but coach. Show, not just tell. Establish timelines and deadlines for this to be done, so there's some accountability. And when I say show, not tell, if you're the incident commander or you're the planning section chief, presumably you have some experience filling out these forms and going through this process. So show the person exactly how accurate it needs to be and how it needs to be done. This goes a long way for buy-in and building that relationship from a professional standpoint. And make sure these people know that you're going to be checking over the forms the next time around for that accountability. Next scenario, you have held your planning meeting and your incident action plan is finished. You have 30 minutes until the operational briefing begins. When the operations section chief comes to you with changes to the plan. Well, this is kind of a natural flow of incident management. Things are going to change. The situation may be much worse than you anticipated or maybe easier to deal with. Resources come in, agencies not cooperating, anything like that. Jurisdictions overlap. And I think the main thing that's going to happen here is that the incident is going to be ramping up. That's why the plan may change. So the potential personnel, of course, the incident commander needs to be involved, and all section chiefs must be made aware of the plan so that everyone's operating off the same mission, so to speak, with the same IAP. And some frontline supervisors and workers as well. From a management standpoint, do not spread this word by word of mouth. That's too informal, and it could lead to misinformation and rogue decisions. At the ops meeting, that's going to happen in 30 minutes. Take 10 minutes in the beginning of that to say, okay, folks, the planning meeting just happened, but we're going to change a few things. Try to make word of this be spread during a formal meeting, in the ops section meeting when your next chance to do so. Almost like a mini planning meeting. And again, like I said earlier, this is an inevitable course of events for things to change. This is not necessarily a bad thing. The incident action plan is finished, but you discover that the incident has expanded. This is kind of similar to what I just spoke about. The incident could be worse than anticipated. We could have secondary effects. So because of a hurricane, you now have flooding. Because of a fire, you now have crumbling buildings. Agencies or jurisdictions could join and overlap, and you could have unexpected operational hiccups. Resources didn't arrive or equipment failed. So the potential people that are going to be involved, again, the incident commander, section chiefs, and of course there's going to be always people that specialize in evaluating the situation. So you want to speak with them and understand, well, where did this evaluation go wrong? Is it because the incident is ramping up, which is a natural course of events? Or is it because they did kind of crummy work in the beginning and they didn't evaluate the scenario appropriately, leading to an underorder of resources or an under deployment of personnel? If that's the case, then they really need to be coached to understand this is how grave the situation is, and you missed the mark on that. You need to know exactly what kind of people and how many resources you need from the get-go, and it's your job to make sure that you assess it properly. Sometimes this demands difficult conversations. Also, you could assign people to take charge of the incoming resources and personnel that you're going to have as the plan set up. Next scenario, you discover that your planning meeting display maps are not accurate. Well, this could happen because you have outdated maps. How often have I gone into a room in an organization and seen building maps or area maps that are like from 1985? This is real life. These are the resources we have to work with, and they're not always up to date. Or you got them from a vendor or a provider that just doesn't do the work. The potential personnel you want to involve, of course, the incident commander, again, because this is something that many people are going to rely on. The people that made, ordered, kept maps beforehand, and from a solution standpoint, time is of the essence. And I mentioned earlier on in this presentation that you kind of want to find the easiest route around this. So you can contact the government, even libraries sometimes have maps of areas, and also use the tools that are at your disposal. The internet, maps are like freely available, so don't make a bigger issue of it than it is. Sometimes go for the easiest workaround, and that could be the internet. And identify the inaccuracies that you have, and if you're able to, just use the maps that you have with a caveat. Okay, this part of the map is wrong. Don't pay attention to that, and move forward. The last scenario here is you discover that an assisting or cooperating agency is preparing its own incident action plan for their staff who are participating in the response to the incident. At first, this sounds great, right? They're taking initiative, they're building their own plan. The problem is that not everyone's going to be on the same page. The root causes of this are, well, lack of communication. They're not on the same page. We have rogue decisions going on outside that locus of control that is the main jurisdiction agency. Organizational overconfidence or inexperience, this agency or jurisdiction just doesn't know what they're doing, or they really think they know what they're doing. Or they haven't been coached or assigned tasks. If you don't assign tasks to tell people what to do, they tend to just make up their own rules, and that seems to be what would be happening here. Potential personnel involve the incident commander, the planning chief, and leaders of the other organization as a team. You have to partner with the other organization to understand why they're doing what they're doing, give them direction. Management solutions use evidence like the location of the incident, your certifications, qualifications, the EM delegations that Rob talked about, how you have an EM number that's in the system that gives you credibility of like, hey, I'm here to do this job, and point to political figures that delegated authority to you for this incident, to let that other agency and jurisdiction know that, hey, you're the ones in charge, you have to go by our plan. That's it for the situation. Thanks.
Scott, did it record?
We're still recording if you want to sum it up. We've got 2 more minutes. Go ahead and sum up what we talked about, each one of us, just briefly.
Hey, Parker, you're on mute there, bud.
You,
Get rid of that button. All right, sorry about that.
there you go.
All right, summing it all up, Michael just finished going over numerous different management situations. Brooke went over, she described the planning section chief's responsibilities in supervising and managing the planning section. I went over the opportunities for interactions and information exchange. And Scott went over the non-incident command system personnel or groups the planning section chief may need to interact with on an incident.
Excellent.